Nowhere to hide. I'm here to invade your YouTube screen again. um, the title of this one's what thinking inside Forrest Fenn's box, right? What it is it's right here. Um, the chapters around gold and more. The chapter about the treasure. Okay, the chapter either side of it boxes it in, and so there are things right just after the chapter and just before the chapter that are important. And they're references to time and and, a new place. That place was too. the the chapter before it is Flywater, and the one paragraph right in the end of it, because the paragraph at the end of that chapter and the paragraph at the beginning of the chapter after are important. Those last paragraphs and the first paragraphs are there's important information in them. Like when you saw it just before the treasure. So the chapters before and after the gold and more are the box. They reference about the box. Remember, the box is about 1,000 years old, right? Or 800, 900,000 years old. And so they he thought the chapter afterwards is Dancing with the Millennium, and he says, "I've always found a love for history, and that's why I like to collect and talk about old things. Maybe it's because the people who lived in olden times seem so mysterious to me." Okay, what I found, my site is 14,000 years old, and it's telling all these stories from the past. These stories that he's referencing here, that he's referencing this. He'd love to know the stories of the people of the past, and I'm finding all kinds of even the thumbnail I used was a picture from some rocks. I put an art process to it, but it shows people like sitting in chairs and maybe at desks or something with, I don't know, boxes. I don't know what they're doing. I'm looking at it on my computer. But trying reading these items in stone, the messages they left written in stone is those are important. That's stuff he really likes to know. What were they doing? Okay, love for history. I like to collect and talk about old things. Maybe it's because the people who lived in olden times seem so mysterious to me. I've wondered what they did when they weren't doing anything, what they do in their spare time. I've got These are pictographs of what they did in their spare time, and it looks like they spent a lot of time worshiping elephants, mammoths, and stuff. They were mammoth huggers, and that's where the mammoth comes. That's where the mammoth and the tusk story are in Once Upon a While. And it's the chapters either side of that also. It's in the middle of the book. This is around the treasure. These are the two chapters around the treasure, and then he goes on to say in here, but those who will be living in the future really arouse my curiosity. So what he's trying to say is, I've seen these things that people from the past have left to tell me their stories, and I want to leave my story for the people of the future, to tell my story to these people of the future, so they will know how I lived in these times. These depictions, these stories I find on the rocks are You know, there's no name. You know, they're people, but you recognize them as people. They were individual. There's just all kinds. They all have their own character. Rocks have character. How's that? And so, and the book now, his fishing occupies a different shelf closer to his view, closer than Yellowstone. He doesn't have to go up there. He can go to a place that's closer. When his father says to find a, his father was trying to find a substitute. Did they do? Yeah. Well, now you see my ceiling. My phone went flat. I just have it propped up against the computer there and tilted up. Okay, and the question again was, on my way out the door, I wanted to stop by and say hi. Hey, Mitzi. Yeah, so this stuff right around the, and what was the other thing? Because that was, yeah. I was going to talk about there's a video, I think it's the one with Suzanne Summers in it and stuff. I think it's on Dale's site. There's a video where he's at one of the San Lazaro videos or something. And he's talking about a rock, and he could tell the foot, it was a threshold to a doorway or something. And he's reading the rock, okay? Now, when I go out and read my rocks, you can't criticize. That's what Forrest does. He reads the rocks, and he can tell what's happening, you know, and he knows what erosion is and where, and you know, even some of these things, it looks like they're, you know, stuff is chipped off and there's something under it. But is that because one? You know, people much further back in time had created it, and other people more recently added more stuff to it and covered up figures with new figures. There's a lot of concrete looking stuff, and some of these, they look like a flat canyon wall. And when you look underneath where the bottom is falling out of it, you look up in there and there's blocks and mortar in there, and it's smoothed out on the surface out where you see it. So they constructed a lot of it. A lot of it was, not all of it, but there are portions that are constructed out of blocks, and they're mammoths made of blocks. I'm going to get the coordinates on. I'm going to try to. I think that one hole might be up on the hill a little. It shouldn't be, but I'll get close enough to get coordinates on it, and then I'll know that's, you know, winter solstice there. It's an observatory, 13,000 years old, North America. Now, it had, you know, the ones down, you know, the Pueblo Indians and stuff had their observatories, I guess, at Chaco Canyon and stuff, where they had could line up winter solstice and all that. They had astronomical observatory there, basically. But that's 2,000 years old. This one here is 13 to 20,000 years old, somewhere in there. It was when the mammoths were here. I mean, they were last year 13,000 years ago, and they, but they were here for thousands of years before that. And there is evidence there. The professor I talked to, he dated the one in San Diego with human tools, 130,000 years old. So there were people here a lot longer than what anybody previously thought, and they had time to do stuff. There's stuff about the Grand Canyon that, you know, and so how could humans have done all this? They had mammoths to help them. They had these big elephants to help them move blocks. Skywalker tea. Good stuff. One of my friends knows. It's mint Skywalker, yeah. So the Force is with me. Yeah, those chapters, they box in the treasure, basically. The one before the treasure, and the last paragraphs before the treasure, and the first paragraphs after the treasure. The things that are close to the treasure are the more important things. It's interesting. Wonder what he said. It may have been a well-worn back door. Yeah, or the window he slid out. You know, he slid out his window at home. He slid out the window at the school. He talks about going down the fire escape or sliding down that tree and breaking the branches or whatever. Trying to slide down a tree, jump into a tree, and yeah, how much that hurt. But I think that came from Rambo. He might have gone through a few branches when he landed in his parachute because he was hung up on something and hanging a few feet off the ground. So that might have been when he did his thing with the branches. Stay inside the boxes would be the chapter on the treasure. And the stuff that surrounds it. The stuff that surrounds that is the box. So the chapter after and the chapter before are the box. And so those are kind of key. And yeah, I couldn't understand. Oh, we're having a discussion on drawings in the book. I mean, I found those drawings carved in stone in the canyon wall, and people can't accept that. Oh, I can't accept that. I can't accept that. Yeah, we're going to have to say he's having some wild imagination thing going on there. This has nothing, just because he found more than a dozen things carved in the canyon walls that relate to Fenn, including his stack of airplanes, Moses, the Buffalo Cowboy car, the Biddy's boy, the Rockwell boy in two places, father and son conversation thing in rock, eagles in nests, giant eagle heads, mammoths, Clovis point in the ribs of a mammoth, a rock that looks like a grapette bottle. Nobody else has two things. I got dozens. And I'm sorry, but if you can't understand that and see that and believe me, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Really. You got to be stupid to not see all of that evidence. You see all of that evidence out before you, and you still can't believe it. If you can't understand and believe and see the truth there, you take a look down in your pants and make sure that you're the gender you think you are, too. I have doubt about people's abilities to think and reason anymore. There's a lot of people that they can't add 2 and 2 and get 4 anymore. They don't believe the stuff when you put it right in their face. And I was watching another video about some people. It is because they are not gifted with the spirituality to see it. They're not worthy of seeing it. I don't know. it's amazing to me that all these drawings are up there. Yeah, I found it's like a hand. Oh, oh, that way, huh? Yeah, it's like a hand like that, and there's a hole. See the light through the hole, and in the distance, there's a hole in the rock on the wall, and in the back of the hole, there's a guy going like this in there, and it's approximate. You know, I'm there just from there and knowing which way is north. I know it's approximately pointing from the guy in the hole in the wall. People coming out of the walls, people coming out of the canyon walls, right? From him through that hole points to the winter solstice thing. And I think what happens when the sun sets there, the light comes through that hole in the hand. The sunlight goes through there and hits that guy on the wall he's a couple 100 feet away from where the hole is. And there's another hole further out on the rock that maybe represents something that maybe the second one may have represented one of them. One hole is the current alignment of the Earth. The other one may be a previous alignment, and the Earth has shifted since then. And they would know, oh, this one matches up with before this time. This one matches up with after this time. And it's, yeah. Giorgio will have to come by and see it. And we'll, I can, deal with him. Hey, Homer. Yeah, I think it was about 12, probably when the younger Dryas, with that meteor comet strike up in Hudson Bay, that probably tilted our axis. I bet that's what happened, So it was probably about 12,000 years ago when that happened. 13,000. And that killed all the mammoths. Probably killed a lot of the natives because they weren't prepared for it. Man, that picture's just weird. I have it here on my screen, the one that's the thumbnail. I'll put it on here. There. See. You see the guy. Oh, come on. Let me holding the phone and pointing. See, there's a head and his body and his legs. He's sitting. There's things going on in there. See, the round things are the heads. These are heads. There's people across here. The guy's sitting at a desk or something. It's pretty neat. Let me see. Do I have any other? Some of the pictures don't come out. But, yeah, that's just smart. So, yeah, you see the person in the... Had it turn it into like a nebula, Oh, this is the one. Yeah. This is a cool one because this thing's like a mirror here, and this is an eye and the nose and the mouth. And it's looking at its memories or something. That's, I think, water. What was that? See this person here? See the head right here and the hair? The body? There's other these guys over here. There's somebody here. There's a head there, and sometimes the art washes away the erosion, and you see down here. There's a lot going on down here. In this one, I had it apply Renard, and it's you pick the artist to apply to the picture, So take a picture of you and paint you like one of them artists. Yeah, it's just weird stuff. Come on, I switched it around. There. Yep. How many times I can switch it? It keeps you switching. It's like you touched it twice. You touched it twice. Canceled what you just touched. So, just about makes a haze grow. Yeah, you got to look at it kind of like a magic eye. And when you start seeing all the stuff there, it's you kind of like a wizard. It's kind of like being a wizard. Yeah, and I got me a folder to put some of my art in. You see. You see this guy with his arms coming out and the head here, and the body and the legs. He was in the creek. And I got the girl standing there. And I think it's a male figure in front of her and stuff. And I got my Moses standing on a mammoth head, parting the Rocky Mountains, That's just, that one's no art program applied. And when he says Moses had his flowery robe. Now look at Forrest Fenn's Moses. It's painted white. My Moses has the flowery robe that he mentions in the book. And this is where Moses received the 10 Commandments, said Leo Salazar, like an omnipotent religious guru. And then Forrest later on says that success is an omnipotent guru. So if you knew where Moses was, you knew where the blaze was, because he's an omnipotent guru. Only omnipotent gurus like Leo and me can find that kind of stuff. They showed it. And Forrest, he's an omnipotent guru too. And part of being a powerful wizard is being mysterious. That's some good tea. I got these tea bags, and they're just little bags with a drawstring. You don't tie it. You put your tea in there, and you pull it tight, and throw it in the teapot. But yeah, I thought they were Clovis people's senses were much keener than mother. Yeah, they were connected with the earth there for sure, and they loved the animals most. It looks like they hunted the buffalo. Why they didn't need to eat mammoths? Because they used the mammoth to hunt the buffalo. That mammoth is a lot of meat. And there had to be millions of them. Had to be. Had to be before that comet or something struck. For all the stuff that's here, they had it. It'd take hundreds or thousands of years to create all the stuff that's here. There's stuff I can show you stuff stretching over 70 miles of area. You know, there's a whole lot out there, and it has to do with his. Where'd your book go? It has to do with that dancing with the millennium, and you know, about 1,000 years. That's the millennium, right? He wanted to leave there 1,000 years. Well, and what better place to know that it'll be there in 1,000 years and leave it at a place that's been there for 13,000 years. Yeah, well, if this has been here for 13,000 years, I found a stack of rocks. It's like somebody stacked the rocks there, and there are 1,000-year-old lichens on them. And when you move the rocks, there's no lichens underneath them. So they've been there that long, you know. They've been there that long, at least 1,000 years. That stack of rocks been there. Maybe by some other, you know. You'd be lucky if your friend saw it passing through. and then you realize that, well, most of these rocks are pretty much where they've been for thousands of years, unless a bear stepped on it and moved it a quarter inch or something, you know. Things, and somebody said, "Oh yeah, a bear would take the treasure." If they don't smell any food, and a bear smells better than a dog, and if the bear don't smell any food in it, he's not interested in that. He's just interested in what he can eat. They don't care about rocks and inanimate things, unless there's food inside it, like your camper, your tent, you know. Yeah, if you got food in your tent, then you're part of the meal too. The bear will eat you. So that's why you put your food in a bag and on a rope and string it up 20 feet in the air up off a tree branch way up high. You know, throw a rope with a rock over the branch and hook your bag of food on there and then tie it off and leave it hanging way up in the air. Your cloggy, what? Do you naturally cure doggy breath with mellow doggy breath? Well, my dog usually doesn't have bad breath unless he's been eating poop. Clovis people seems were, yeah, those Clovis people, they were spiritual because they had the peyote and they had the mushrooms up here, the big red ones with the white spots. That's why I use those as the background of my text and my Clovis text that I make. And that's good tea. My dog's breath will not. Yeah, he can fart sometimes. Yeah, whoa, dog. The parrot does that too. Hi, Togo. He's over there quiet today. If you hear someone else talking, it's Togo, and he does all his talking in the morning. He's just watching me now. He's part of the audience. I'm gonna check that up. Put that on top of here. There. So Yeah, anything else? I was just, bringing it because I noticed that, what's the box? What box is in the things that box in the chapter on the chest, on the treasure? And then when you read the poem, look, notice my trove for all to seek. The trove. What's the trove? The treasure's one, but doesn't he have another trove? All his collection at home, the rest of his collection, his um, his trove of memories that are art that are in the canyon walls. We will be the yeah. That's what I figured. We're gone full cycle because our technology and stuff, and like a solar flare can take out all the electricity, shut down all the gas pumps, shut down all the food delivery. People start starving, and we'd be right back to primitive days pretty quick. And a lot of cannibals at first, you know. Wild animals and stuff might become scarce because everybody have to go to the streams and stuff to get fish and start poaching cattle and whatever to feed themselves, and the world goes into madness and back into the dark ages. Yeah, something's gonna happen somewhere. Oh, my eyes are super dry. I get prescription for eye drops. It's because my thyroid and all that stuff. The VA doctor didn't renew all my so all my prescriptions expire, and I call and she wouldn't give them, and it still says that they're not coming. But when I talked to him on Friday, well, our system shows it's being mailed now. Well, I still go on there, and normally it would, tell me when something's mailed and give me a tracking number, and I had that tracking number before it came, and so apparently, yeah, it's on the way. Baloney. Yep, not doing much. I need to go check that thing. The storm clouds the cumulus clouds are building over the mountains, over the Fenn zone right now, and today was forecast for sunny morning and thunder afternoon. So usually I can get up there by noon, and so why show up for a thunderstorm? And and I got some stuff to explore right here that I can get done before the storms get here. If I get off of YouTube. If I stay on YouTube, let me see. I'm trying to see if I find some more interesting pictures I have here. No, not in that folder. I do my. These should be the cool one. This one was really cool. Well, let's see. Now, see, see if you can see quite a bit in there. There's this guy laying down there. See his nose and eye. He's looking up. He's looking at the pen. It's at the tip of his nose. See the faces in here, the two eyes and the hair and the head there. This is a head here, her body and like wearing a red dress or something. There's people laying down, and I think this is a funeral or something. I don't know, but it's really neat. And there's this big head here. See the pink face with the nose sticking out right there. It's looking left. And this guy in here, there's a face in there. it, and this is how you can see these stories from the past. These are human figures in there. You got to look at it like a magic eye. It comes into view. You go, oh, neat. And oh, wow, I didn't see that. See that one in the middle? Looks like a bowling pin or a bell. This one's neat. He's in the scree pile. You see his nose right here. Of this? Yeah, I got an original of that. Let's see. Oh, where was it? I was in that folder. The rock. Here's that rock. These are the mammoth temples up here. Yeah, to go find that, you know, when I'm showing the art one, I keep them in separate folders, and it might take me an hour to find it. So, you know, ask me to find a particular picture at any moment is not really possible. Here I got things circled what are in here. See, this is a guy standing here and his elbow coming over and his hand up to his chin. There's, you know, the mammoth. These are all mammoths. The blue circles are mammoths. The orange circles, I think, are people. Well, you see what it does with a, you know, that. You can still tell that's a antelope or pronghorn. Jeez, yeah. I guess I'd have to show. You open one of my slide show folders here, because it would hold more relevant stuff if I put in. I've got, you know, I'm putting together this thing here. I'm going to put 150 of my best images in there. So, and that can change. I can pull out, replace new good ones, put new good ones in there, and take out the lesser of them. But where is his rock? Yep, I'm gonna go to. Nope, no. It would be Fenn slideshow. I hate one of the things. It's like, it was there yesterday. There it is. There's him. There he is there. There's him, and he's right next to the other kid. He's right next to him. And here you see it's the same. Here's the hands coming up. Over there's an eye, the other eye. But look, there's a little guy up here. This guy here reaching into a hole in his forehead there. This guy here reaching in that hole in his forehead. It says some of these formations are a couple miles apart. See, that's how close. There's that kid there. And then the other kid's up here. He's up there. See? Right there. There's his head. And that's why Forrest had him draw the rock, because it looks like the Rockwell kid. You know? Why do you have him draw that? Because it looks like that. Yeah, these are his treasures. These are his treasures in nature. Oh, what do we got here? Here's his air. See there? I put his airplane on top. And there's his airplane on the rock. Look, it has the fuel tank under. This is the wing. Here's the tail. And there's the cockpit. And there he is in there, flying it. He's an alien. So here, this is what Giorgio would be interested in, the ancient alien technology, because they apparently knew about fighter jets. That's, and the thing is, see right over here? This is the double A's right behind it. That's the middle fingers there. That's one of them. The other one's off the picture. Okay. There's that one. So, yeah, my fun cartoons. Look, you know what? This wooden one on the right, that's Forrest Fenn's, but doesn't it look like the poop head on the Facebook emoji? The poop head? Yeah, put the eyeballs on it. Here we got the aliens under the rock. They're painted on the rock or whatever. P5O FUM. Here's where warm waters halt. One of them. It's two. It's that one or the other one. The other one is too far to walk. I put them into the here. I got the stump, so I put the logger and the kid in there with the bird and the moon. You see, he's looking the other way now. Then I found several of the birds and the moon, and there's the gypsy wagon in Pagosa Springs. As you can see that right along the highway. That's at the Fred Harmon Museum. Fred Harmon is the guy who wrote Red Ryder and the Red Ryder BB gun. So this is a gypsy wagon. See the wheels on it, and that's off the picture out of a photograph right there. F E N N. And those are two omegas. And this is a fish up here. Here's his tail. For you people that don't know shapes, you know, if you got to teach people kindergarten-ish, this is a tail. This is the fish body. This is a fish eye. These are two fish hooks. This says F-E-N-N. And if you can't see that, I can only resort to, there's some blind and stupid, very stupid people, if they can't see, that says Fenn. And that's a fish over it. If you can't see that says Fenn and that's a fish over it, you have zero imagination, and you'll never, ever find Forrest Fenn's treasure. You know, you can't show people 40 pieces. You show them 40 pieces of evidence. Oh, I don't think so. You know, so you got the, you know, and here's this, and this is, you see this thing here, this right here. This is one of the ends in the fin, and then that's right there. I drew the fishing pole line on there, obviously. And, you know, to see a great painting, like finding a great arrowhead laying on the ground, or catching a great fish. And here she is with her hands on the painting, making a painting. Here's an example of, you know, so here's him with the tombstone. Here's the guy with the tombstone. It's the same thing. Isn't this the same? This doesn't represent the same as this. This isn't Moses. His Moses. My Moses. His Fenn. The Buffalo Cowboys cowl. The wood. Fenn's totem. The ZPU gun. There's these faces everywhere, and there's a, see, here's the crescent and the bird up here, and there's the father and son right there. You know, that's this one here. It's another one of that. So I got the rock formation with him there, and I got this one. You see the glasses on him? And these aren't just random rocks. These were put here by ancient Clovis people. And then I got the gypsies up here dancing. See her arm up there? That's the elephant dance. And here's the arm coming up. This is what Forrest saw. Here you got, you know, there's faces in it. This guy's looking down. There's the bird there's a crescent, and it's an omega, and there's an eagle sitting in there, and I think this is another one up here, or it's a person. This is you see the eagle's feet here. These are the feet of a bird, and there's the eagle head. This is an elephant trunk and head. And that's too much. Okay, next picture. Next picture will explain. There's the wood. W-O-O-D, wood. And I found that Model A cowl or Model B cowl, or it was right over in here, in the D. And then the springs and stuff were down here by the creek. So it was straight ahead down here by the creek where I found the seat cushion spring. So that's the wood. There, see, these are the mammoth temple. These are big mammoth heads. These domes here. This is a mammoth head, and the trunk coming down. This is a mammoth head, and the trunk comes down. But right there is Moses. There's Moses standing there parting the Rocky Mountains. Yeah, go find him in the Rocky Mountains. So I found Moses where Moses received the 10 Commandments. It's obviously not up there. You see these guys standing here. Look, this is a shoulder and an arm, and this guy with a beard, and he's looking left. And there's another face here. It kind of splits on two rocks, but maybe it's two face. There's another, yeah, there's another face in there. This is a raw picture. There's the face here. You see the eye, the nose, mouth. There's a lot more people in here than there's Moses up there, but you see other people climbing up on the mammoth, and this is a mammoth and his trunk coming down, and the light only hits it like that at winter solstice. You see, look at this face here looking in there. So there's all kinds of art up there. The other picture of Moses. These are the raw pictures. Yeah. Supernatural. Yeah, I'm leading a bunch of derelicts. That's the problem he had. A bunch of people that weren't worthy of. Here's the worshipers. See, he's in there at his back and his arm, and his butt, and his head's into the mammoth there, worshiping the mammoth. There's another guy standing here behind him. There's the worshipers. No, it ain't in Kansas City. It's too deserty. Oh. Yeah, I camped up there at the above the gorge. There's a cliff that goes out toward Kansas City, and it's a I guess a county area, and you can camp there for 7 days, I think. I was up there, went to the Blue Oyster Cult concert. Oh, I get man. These are the temples. Look at this. See, there's this guy up here in the throne. Here's his head, his chest, and they all got this box they hold on their chest or something. Here's his knees over here. These are his knees. And there's other stuff. There's little guys on these rocks here too. There's a painting on there, kind of. I got to get it close. This picture is from 300 feet or more. No, it's like a quarter mile away. There's stuff on these here. There's figures in there that I got to get some closer pictures of that. Oh, and they were down here. There's a couple here. There's 2 people, 3 people maybe. There's maybe even more on it over here. There's a woman there. Yeah, and this is like a big sun disk thing, and I think there's heads going across it around the rim of it. And you know, they always still have people, pareidolia, pareidolia, pareidolia. I want to say pareidolia. And they ignore me every time I tell them I brought it to a professor of anthropology and geology, and he said it's not pareidolia, that these are actual sculptures. Here's the guy holding the tombstone. So anybody wants to say that I'm a psycho for seeing things is full of shit. And maybe needs to see a psychiatrist himself. As I took these to an anthropologist, and I see I added what I did. I took that and I added it down here. Put it in my picture. Only the brave can follow me down the rabbit hole. In other words, that criticism I get from everybody calling it pareidolia and all that, all the haters and stuff, Forrest meant you had to be brave to put up with those assholes. Those assholes that will call you a psycho. Those assholes that will put down whatever your art and your works. Those assholes that'll work against you. You have to be brave to stand up to them. Here's the, you know. And Forrest says, I suddenly felt like a crippled ant in an elephant parade. Here we have the elephants. And you see, this is a different time of year when that's Moses right there. And you see the light ain't hitting him the same. So he doesn't look the same at this time of year. It's something that you see at winter solstice. It's a sign of winter solstice when you see Moses. That's a mammoth head. This is the eye in here. This is the forehead. Here's the guy's head right here with his arms wrapped around the head of the mammoth, hugging the mammoth. There's the Fenn. See, the colored one I showed you, this is the actual picture that it come from. And there's the fish with the fish hooks and the fin up there. And you know, there's all kinds of other things up there too. See, there's a face on the side here. There's an eye, nose, mouth. And then with marvel gaze, and suddenly your brain clicks in and you think, what the fuck? And you see it's everywhere. You realize it's Stone Age. That's what happened to me. Here, look at that. Here's the head, right? Here's his shoulder and arm and his legs coming down. There's a kid climbing up that canyon wall. There's another head right below him. This is, the white is the overlay from the Spanish Toy Factory, or the marbles, the guys over the marbles. And I have them overlaid, and it fits over this canyon just perfectly. It fits the shapes. That eagle thing is in there. See Indiana Jones. There's the father and son. This is the father, the glasses, and the kid sitting here. artist girl. Oh yeah, see, this is cool. When he says that all be left of me if it's an asterisk. See, this is the mouth, the nose, eye, other eyes in here. And he's got this cowboy hat or water drop. Yeah, it's nothing near as big as the Arkansas. I've been in the. I searched up near Wellsville and Salida and stuff, but it wasn't there. This is a real. This is an elephant. You see the trunk comes down and curls here. That's an elephant head. I can't zoom out because then it's easier to see. Here's his pile of airplanes. Look at it. There's the windshield. Boom, F-100 right there. Here's the nose of one. Another one. I think that's another one up there. Here's the other airplane. And there's, see, here's the cockpit, the Piper. And here's his trainer plane, the cockpit. You know? So all his airplanes there. Pile of airplanes. And don't tell me you don't see this cockpit and nose of this F-100 right here. That's his pile of wrecked airplanes. Now, I can't have his pile of wrecked airplanes and his everything and the Buffalo Cowboys car and Skippy's helicopter contraption and the double blazes. Here's the double blazes. It's two middle fingers. And this is an Omega over here. This is an Alpha Omega. And you see, this looks like a pilot's helmet and a pilot's head in here. And that's red ochre. It's put there on purpose by natives. And, of course, this is the tail of his airplane here. And you can see the back of the wing and the fuel tank sticking out there. But you can take the double blazes. We'll do that. We can do that right in front of you. And we're going to flip it over. And now you have Bessie's cow udder. These are the teats on the cow udder hanging down. And you have cats, like a cat there. Cat over here. Cats and cow udders. That's the upside down version. There's the double blazes in the airplane. The pile of airplane, that was untouched. Yeah, it was that's the raw. You know, this is a pile of airplanes. And there's a little guy. See, it looks like him. He's sitting, here's his head. And his arm is reaching into this dark thing here. And that told me something that I'm not going to tell you. There's the eagle head. But it's also, this is a guy's head. And here's his arms reaching into this tree here. And there's the white rabbit over here in the tree. And there's other characters in the tree. That stuff is on the rock behind the tree that you see. Looks like it's in the tree. That's one of his airplane cockpits. This is the orange parts of the cockpit. This is the wreckage, airplane wreckage. They're too far to walk. The legs, and then fly fishing. And then the wood, the big tree right there. But my arm's getting tired. It's been an hour. I think I talked enough about it today. The thing is, I have more than enough evidence that I'm on the right spot. You can't have that many confirmations and not be right. It's not no. It might be these people say confirmation, but that's based on 1, 2, 3, 4 items. I have way more than that for confirmation. My confirmations are overwhelming. I can't even show you all those confirmations. And I have other confirmations that I ain't going to tell you. So the ones I will show you, you can't see. Hey, good to see you, Clint. I got to go over there. I don't know if they'd let me go over to your country. They won't let me into Canada because I own a parrot. You know? It says you're not allowed to. It takes to bring my parrot to another country. It's like $1,000 in permits because you got to have them to go there and you got to have them to come back. You got to have to export from this country, import to that country, export from that country, import to this country. You know, I just put a chip in my damn parrot and go, oh, yep, he's good. Yeah, I had him on the front seat of the truck when I was coming back from Canada, and I wasn't trying to smuggle him. I asked the pet shop, "Do I need anything for my parrot to go?" No. So I went up there with him, and I come back, and then they took him for 6 weeks and charged me with parrot trafficking. So I'm a convicted parrot trafficker. Yeah, it's a UN thing. So you assholes at the UN, the Nazis at the UN imposed that. You know? So I guess if they took down borders, then they couldn't check that, right? Having a subject to an image. And you know, I'm wondering people. Of course. Good work. And give me a photo of your rabbit hole photo. I'd like to use it in our Tolo hunt. Okay, Homer. You gotta send me an email, Wabi Eagle, WABI Eagle at Gmail or whatever. Because I don't think, unless you're on my Facebook group or something where I can message it to you. But it's probably better in email, full size. You mean the one where the whole completed one, or just the rabbit hole part? Yeah, Forrest Fenn fly fishing. I got his helicopter and you know, all his stories are there on the canyon wall. That's why it's special to him. Oh, that reminds me of Vietnam. That reminds me of Montana. The trout in the rivers and the streams remind him of fishing, and all of these things. Find a substitute. His father was trying to find a substitute. The phone was ringing all the way down at the end of the hallway, and I find a bell. What I was calling at the end of the hallway because there's a bell there ringing, and then I find a cell phone there that's from 2007 to about probably lost about the time he hid the treasure. So, hey Forrest, I found your phone. What would anybody else would have had to thrown it up there? You know, because it, you know, it's from where normally where people would go. This thing was, you know, 50 feet up or 30 feet up. You know, like somebody threw it on the roof of your house. You know, it would have been that to where people they took that thing and chucked it up there, or but the screen ain't cracked. So somebody was walking through there. Somebody was sitting there on somebody's tombstone and dropped it at where the bell tolls. Who's it? Where's the bell? For whom the bell tolls. I think that is that the Hemingway one. One of the books had 40 different endings, and this the thrill of the chase is about Forrest Fenn hits his final chapter of his life, and this treasure is his final chapter, and he's being entertained by us. We're, you know, instead of watching the news that's about all these things that, you know, it's like, why do I need that in my life interfering with, why do I need somebody else's drama to, you know? But he made it so that he can watch us and the stories about him, something he's interested in, instead of watching TV that it's not interesting. It's interesting. It interests him to hear people talk about him and what people think of it. And, you know, everybody's had a night in their life. They went out to a bar, may drank a little too much, and oh man, I hope I didn't blow it last night with those people. You know, everybody has them kind of thoughts. But you try and, you know, you maintain yourself, try to, but you can't maintain other people. One of my friends was telling me about some drama, people I don't know, and they're not, and it's like I don't need to be part of their drama, you know. That's why I'm out here far from anybody. It's I'm miles from anybody. So, oh, yeah, you know, I have no drama in my life, so, you know, don't bring it knocking on my door. um, and my brother, he had met some woman online, whatever, and she moved in with her son, and my brother doesn't smoke pot. They were smoking pot, and had my brother buy it all for him. And I guess, you know, my brother sold him a truck, and the guy wasn't making the payments on the truck, so my brother took it back, and but I had to throw them out, even, you know, because it was just, you know, this is all about just sucking on his teeth and taking all his money out of his bank. And he wasn't, you know, there was nothing. He wasn't getting anything in return. You know what I mean? So yeah, and that kind of stuff. You know, people can live together peacefully, but you don't go and instead of expecting things from somebody, you you know, give, don't take. You know what I mean? You contribute and try not to require things of the other person. You know, and people expect other people to. Oh, I expect you to do this for me and do that for me and do that, and no, man, you know, I'll do what I can, what I feel like doing, but you know, Don't push me to go out of my way for something you can do yourself. You know? Yeah. Uh, you ever? I was out in the desert one time, four-wheeling. It was with an axe. It was, way back in 1995. We were out near Farmington, and it was her cousin's. Her cousin was having a wedding or something, and she was at the rehearsal stuff because she was in it, and I was out with the truck on doing a little four-wheeling in the desert, where there's these little roads that go up these washes and hills and stuff. And I was out there and ran across some Native Americans who were in a car stuck where you should only be there with a four-wheel drive truck, you know. And I tried to help them. It's like, okay, now I got things to do, you know. I did what I can. Have a nice day. You can't. Sometimes you stop to help people, and it becomes more than what you're. It just. So I said, okay, and I called the sheriff. I told him there's two people out there stuck, and so let them county take care of them. And so, and also the truck, my truck was starting to overheat from trying to help them. And it's like, okay, now I'm going to be, no, I'm not going to be stranded because of you. And I split. Rabbit hole. Rabbit hole. I should answer this question. Good work. Well, some of the answers are there. I know some of the answers. Sounds like a pure pregnant. Yeah. Catcher in the Rye. Catcher in the Rye had that, huh? The 40 different endings. I am here. We can begin now. Oh, Dirk is here now. That's what I'm shooting for with Millweed Lake Treasure Giving. Do you have the parrot? Yeah, he's over there looking. He was making some noise a couple minutes ago. Weren't you, Togo? You gonna bark? The fanatic. That's a great cup. I guess I nicked it on something and lost a tiny bit of the white paint off or whatever. I nicked it right there. But I've had it over a year and a half or so. Anything new here? Let's see. Well, I actually went to what? Wasn't sure if it was your parrot or we caught a mouse under the sink. Yeah. He's pretty talented parrot. He knows when the song he goes off to Never Land. he can belch and fart and he makes every sound that he talks. There have been I was cleaning mice out of a bus I had. There were some mice in the fuse box, and I was cleaning a mouse nest out, and he's squeaking at the mice. Oh, hey, Janet. I was growing a beard so that I can put on the Moses look, And maybe at Christmas I can go work at the mall. Yeah, there's no mall around here. I might go down to Florida for the winter. Head over to the East Coast, visit friends in Georgia, and go down to Florida. I might could go across the north and through Ohio or something and visit friends there, or Iowa and visit friends there, and then down. And so I go about 700 miles a month on my budget with the gas prices, 6 miles to a gallon. That's Fenn's going. Yeah, I couldn't believe that. I had that Model A cowl on there, and it was getting treated like dirt compared to one of them coins. And it's like, this is a big Fenn and I was advised of the possible legal issues with it and stuff, being on eBay, and that there'd be no confirmation that somebody could, oh, I bought something that wasn't anything part of it, and and there's no way Forrest would ever admit that it's part of it. He wouldn't say a thing. He won't confirm anything about anything, and yeah, I think the stuff I'm finding is the treasure. Finding all these puzzle pieces. If you find all the puzzle pieces, then he picks a winner who does the best job of finding all this art in nature. And he said the winner, the person who wins, So he's telling you it's a contest. The end of the chapter, Golden Moor, he wakes up from a dream. It's all in his It's an imaginary treasure hunt. It's a treasure hunt of the imagination. It's all in your head. St. Patrick's Day, number 317. Yeah, luck my butt. My mother died on 317. In 1989, when Forrest had cancer, my mother died from cancer on March 17th, 1989. So yeah, no, I haven't celebrated St. Patrick's Day since then. Well, I went out one St. Patrick's Day in Eugene, maybe 8 years ago. That wasn't a wild night. Some guy got arrested for sticking his camera up girls' dresses. And they took him away and left his camera laying there. Well, there's the evidence right there. They probably, I don't know. I don't know who the bar ended up with his camera, I guess. Wild party. It was crazy because when he was sticking the camera under some girl's dress, the other guys tackled him, and it was like, boom. Yeah. I had pictures of the stage and stuff then, the band, but I wasn't, I'm not the guy that goes around sticking cameras up women's dresses. There was some other guy doing that. So, yeah, I guess that won't go. My computer locked up. There. So, yeah, I had that picture on there with that Rockwell boy and the Biddy's boy. It's just... So this is from my drone. So here's that Biddy's boy. And you go right up here. Here's the Rockwell boy. With a guy reaching in his head. And being this is from my drone, you can see that while he's flying over. He's flying over and you go flying by that. And there's a kid down there. Look at that. Wow. Oh, I gotta drive down there and visit. So look at this area, and he come up here, and what is that? See, there's a light color, but it's not the treasure. It's a different color. And there's probably figures in these that I haven't determined. Yeah, there's, you know, look at this profile. This is a head. See his nose, his eye, his chin. Oh, look, and there's a breast and another breast. Those are the, yep. There's a woman in there. There's her head. Okay, so yeah, yeah. There's some figures. Yeah, there's. You can find it. It's all. It's so old and worn out, and you know, parts of the heads have fallen off, arms have fallen off, and you got to be able to recognize that. And you got, you know, it's about the shapes. I like this one. This is one of my favorites. You got, or it's like this. Can you see them? Yeah. There's a. So, you know, um, oh, that's not fair. And this is below the totem. There's his totem. There's his face right here. This is his profile right here. This part on the side of the totem. And the totem has a face like a can opener, like Miss Ford. Forrest Fenn, his name alone is 2 F words. I said the treasure chest is hidden in the Rocky Mountains, but I didn't realize benchmark maps made this map stops at Canadian border. Okay? Why is that important? Because there's a clue in Canada. There's a clue in Canada. It would have been on the map if it included Canada, but it's a place in Canada that's also a place in Colorado. There's a totem. See, the totem has a face like a can opener, like Miss Ford. But and I hadn't looked at it before. But here's the elephant head. This is the elephant head curving and the trunk coming down and curling. The trunk curled up here. The elephant head, the eye, and until recently, I never looked. You know, because I had looked this one over before I realized there were elephants. Ginger and Marianne. Oh, Ginger, she lives in Texas. Forrest said that this is George Washington over here. That's George Washington. I said, who's that guy? He said, that's George Washington. And you see the arrowhead here? That's an arrowhead. See the big, it's broken. That's a big arrowhead. And this is a tombstone. His arm's coming over and holding the tombstone. But his arm, see, shoulders are usually mammoth heads and mammoth trunks. Is he crossing the Delaware? No. No. But it is a creek. It is along the creek. And the thing is, people all have walked along the top up here. You know, you walk along the top up here, and you don't know what you're walking on top of. I'm one of the few people that have crossed over the creek and looked back and seen this, you know, from the other side of the creek, because that's not a real accessible spot. And this was taken where I was camp host last year. Stumpland. So, yeah, they're just all kinds of stumps there. A home of brown beaver pond. When he says where warm water halt is not a dam, that doesn't mean anything. There isn't a dam involved. See, I'm sitting in an opening of an arch, and you see my shadow down there, and this is a shadow of the arch I'm sitting in. So this is entrances and exits, alphas and omegas, oh, you know what I mean. That's saying, so it's the entrances and exits. Shakespeare, the beginning and the end. So I got this actual arch is an entrance and an exit, and then I have the shadow arch, which is me displaced in time and space, another entrance and another exit. The entrance and exit of reality and the one of supernatural, kind of, it's very metaphoric there, man. Yeah, it's not easy to, and trying to, which sign is the sign? There's a home of brown, beaver pond, and look at the drop over the dam. Drops a ways. Oh yeah, it felt like the ground kicked up. Brown's been busy. This is cool because this is a picture of my 5th great granduncle, Robert Rogers. It's a drawing from 1700s. And look at it, there he is in the... And the psychic told me I was him and I was reincarnated, Robert Rogers. And he wrote the instructions for Lewis and Clark, brought his instructions to follow the Missouri River to the Shining Mountains. And from there, it's a 20-mile carry to the Oregon River that leads to the Pacific Ocean. And that's the instructions Lewis and Clark brought. See, this is a girl in a dress. You can see the leg and the foot here. And here's her dress, and here's her head up here, and she's walking across the mountain up there. But it's all right here. See this Indian face? Here's an eye. Here's the other eye. Here's his smile. And thunder's rumbling out there. And this is a deer. The place that's dear to him. It's a place that's dear to him, okay? That's like Nazca in the Rocky Mountains. This is the Nazca of Colorado. Yeah, I put that's Forrest in there. Look. Yeah. Yeah, I found the skull, ear, and ear horn carved into the rock. That represents that. I have too many coincidences. When there are too many coincidences, it's no longer a coincidence. It's hard evidence. So I have hard evidence of being closer than anybody else. Unless somebody can present more evidence than I've presented, then you can't, and you people trying to tell me I'm full of it, you have zero evidence, don't you? So you can just shut up. But yeah, hour and a half. I think I'm done for today. Have a good day. I want to go explore a little bit right near at these ruins right here, and I want to check out that observatory, and I'll make a video on that and report on that. I'm going to get the coordinates and my compass. If I sit there with my compass and just sight my compass through the hole at the where I took my other picture, that'll give me the azimuth. And I'll just read the numbers direct off the compass and then take the declination for the true north. Just add that to it. Add it, whatever. But it's going to be I'm going to be looking to the northeast through the hole at the target, and I might get the angle. Maybe I'll get the angle that I need for the winter solstice, and see where that angle, when I put that angle through that hole, where it goes, and it should go right to that guy in the hole on the wall that's 200 feet away. So, and that would be, I know my anthropologist buddy would really like, the anthropologist at the university down here would really like to see that, if I could find that. And even the astronomy professor they have, my astronomy professor at University of Oregon is the guy that designed the particle detectors for CERN and things like, he's the guy that designs the supermag particle detectors that detect electrons and stuff when they collide atoms and stuff. Nuclear physicists to the max. James Brau is his name, Brau. You look up James Brau and CERN. and that he was my I had strong 1 2 1 2 1 1 2 3 and 1 2 4, or 1 2 1 1 2 2 and 1 2 3. I think I took 1 2 3 before I took 1 2 1 because I started in the middle of the year, so I missed the first course. I took the first course last. But and yeah, I got a $120 astronomy book too, but it's now outdated because it mentions the Big Bang, and they debunked the Big Bang. Oh, that didn't happen. Oh, because the universe keeps going. You can only see 13,000 light years. A light can only travel that far, so far before just there's nothing. So that's the distance limit of light is maybe 13, 18 billion light years. That's as far as you could send a particle of light. And it just is, because the further you get out, the more things spread out from the center. Like the center of the pie, all the lines converge in the center. And the further out away, the less there is of it. And so once you get so far, there's no light left. It's all dispersed. So they physicists haven't looked that. I think somebody said that they were thinking there was a limit to how far it can go. And I think that's it. That's the only reason that they think the universe is, because that's as far as they can. They can't see what's out there. And so what they can't see, they can't imagine. And so they just put a wall there. And there's no wall there. The stuff keeps going forever and ever and ever. There's no end. There's no end. We're a mixture of many big bangs that are in areas suck in, I guess, and blow back out. And who knows, you know? Everything collapses and re-explodes. And we're made of stardust. But we're really just electrical fields and controlling our particles and holding all our atoms together, you know. And it's only because we believe that. If you believe, then, you know, if you believe you exist, you exist. Now, if you don't believe you exist, would you exist if you didn't believe you existed? Try believing that you don't exist. Everybody goes, no, you exist. I see you there. But it's this supernatural thing that holds all of these things together. And it's just the way it is. We're light particles. Wow, Gator. Wow, Gator. Where are the trees now? I'm checking out later. Okay, cool. Oh, I gotta go back here. Let us see. No, destroy the earth again. I got a cool picture of a rainbow yesterday where I had to go. I had to go to Walmart and get my water bottle filled. I've got a 5-gallon bottle. It costs like $2 to fill it up. And that's my tea water, and the dog's drinking water, and my drinking water. So it's the water that's in the RV tank. I don't drink that. Never filtered. I don't drink what comes out of there. I don't trust it. You know, if he drinks bad water one time, and you're like, nah, I ain't drinking bad water again. I even get it from the machine at the store, and then I pour it through a zero filter on top of that, and then it's boiled into tea. Good tea. Skywalker mint tea. Oh, green Skywalker green mint tea. I got mint and green and Skywalker in it. I was looking for you today. Who's looking for her? I've been looking for her for 10 years. No, make it 8 years. So, is there anything I missed important? Is he crossing the Delaware? Okay, we've seen that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if Ginger's watching. Yeah, I know a girl, woman Ginger, and, whatever. I'll just say that for being as old as I am, she didn't look like she's over 30. You know, those pictures, like, are you sure it's you or your daughter? You know, I don't know, but never met. You know, some people, you meet them online, you never know what they look like for real in person. I'm for real. This is. People say I look thinner in person than online. The camera shows more, makes you look, you know, and they probably have an algorithm to do that. Okay, well, have a good day. Happy treasure hunting. I'm going to go get some measurements on that observatory.